What's up? I'm here. It's our fucking Game of the Year awards for 2014. You know, we did this last year, 2013, and it was pretty cool. We had a lot of fun doing this year. We're taking it to new levels, and it's going to be fucking cool. Just a couple, things before you watch the rest of this video. We don't own an Xbox One. None of us played Xbox One games, so therefore they're not included on here. 2, we don't own a PC, so some PC games aren't on here as well. We decided to talk about and include games that we played this year, and we didn't play everything. And these are all our opinions, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let us know what your favorite games of 2014 was. We had a lot of fun making this video. 2014's been a pretty cool year for video games. It's been a lot of good video games. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Enjoy.
Hey, it's Big Wiggly here. Right now, you're gonna watch our individual game of the year. Stay tuned to the end to find out what Weekly Metal Reviews gives it.
My favorite games of the year are the first game I had, which I have my list and I reorganize it when I'm thinking about it. My favorite game that I played this year is Fantasy Life. That came out on Nintendo 3DS. I almost have that game beat, but you don't have to beat it to really truly understand the fun of this game. Because it's just, I know it's going to be pretty good to beat it. It's going to be satisfying because I play this game a lot. There's a lot of stuff you can do. There are multiple lives that you can play through. There are multiple elements of the game like leveling up, wishes. There are, different places that you can go. Maybe the playable area isn't like, gargantuan, but it's enough to really keep you satisfied. There's different creatures that are hard to beat, like Big Beaks and Lord of the Dead in the desert. There's places that are really fun to explore. My runner-up for Game of the Year for me is The Wolf Among Us, which is from Telltale Games. Released as like a collection of all the episodes, chapters, whatever. I remember first seeing this game come over here, watching the guys play it and everything. I'm like, this looks like a really cool game. The art style is really cool. It's like a comic book. It's not like perfect. Like some lines aren't really connected, and there's some coloring outside the lines or inside the lines. It's not like it's artistic. It's really cool. Some of it really conveys that dark feeling of it, where you're playing as this guy is trying to find Big B Wolf. You're trying to go around and find different people are getting murdered, and you're like a detective, and you're trying to go around and find it. And you make choices, and you get to fight different people, and it's just a really fun, different game that I play. It's not like you're run-of-the-mill, shoot this, blow up that, or swords and stuff. Like you fight, I remember the lumberjack, and you fight him, and it's like you throw him out of a window, or you get thrown out of a window. There's all kinds of different stuff that can happen based on choices. It's really fun. Those are my 2 games of the year.
Boobs! But I have my top 3 games of the year. So number 3, I have Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. It's just a really fun couch co-op game where you can play with anywhere up to 8 of your friends and, beat the crap out of each other. I mean, there's not much else you can explain about that game. It's just a really fun game. Probably still one of the most fun games, especially competitive games that I played so far this year. Number 2, I have Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein was a game that I figured would be pretty okay, but in terms of a full game, it was really good. The fact that you could dual-wield sniper rifles, or dual-wield knives, or dual-wield grenade launchers is fucking amazing, and I don't care. Killing Nazis in any time period is really, really satisfying. And then, for my game of the year, I gave it to Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I mean, I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed and Batman franchises, so an open-world action RPG, well, action-adventure game where you get to kill orcs is just awesome. And the Nemesis system is, I think, one of the best next-gen mechanics added into a game. So those are my games of the year.
Alright, these are my choices for Game of the Year. Number 3 was Infamous. Again, it was a brilliant game, very well done, it was pretty to look at. Number 2 goes to Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. But my number 1 game of the year goes to Dragon Age Inquisition. It's not quite Skyrim, but it's the RPG that this next generation of consoles needed until we get something like a Skyrim. There's a lot to do, it's pretty, the story itself is amazing, the soundtrack is great. It's just one of those late-term games of the year that ended up being absolutely brilliant.
My three favorite games of 2014. Number 3, I had Shadow of Mordor. This game just completely surprised the shit out of me. At first, I did not pick this game up right away. I was like, I don't know. But I played it, and I just could not put it down. You know, typically when I stay up late playing games, it's with my buddies. But I stayed up till like 2 in the morning by myself playing this game. Everything it does is phenomenal. You know, you can hear about that in other videos we've done. But yeah. Number 2, I had Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. This game just blows me away every time I play it. It's just packed with content, a whole bunch of different modes. It's someone put it best, it is a Nintendo history museum. It is fucking phenomenal and just chaos everywhere. And my number 1 game of the year is Dragon Age Inquisition. This game just floors me. Its story is incredible. Exploring the world of Thedas is incredibly fun, and it just everything you do builds up your Inquisition. So everything you do has a meaning. A lot of the missions they're fun, and you feel just important because you are the leader of this Inquisition. It's graphically great. The combat's fun. And it's even got a pretty fun cooperative multiplayer mode. So those are my 3 favorite games of 2014. Destiny is our biggest disappointment of 2014. Why? Because we all thought it was going to be the best game of 2014 and one of the greatest games of all time. The lack of story really sucks. The gameplay is really good, but it's just very small design decisions that this game just completely misses, and you know, just isn't. It's just okay, man. But I mean, while we had fun with it, its flaws get bigger and bigger as we go. So the runner-up is
Watch Dogs, for a lot of the same reasons that Destiny is our disappointment. You know, Watch Dogs was supposed to be this big next-gen game where it's supposed to be beautiful, it's supposed to take full advantage of the next-gen consoles, and then it's basically GTA 5, except you have a really nice phone that can hack into things. The graphics are honestly worse than how they looked in the past E3s, you know, which sucks. And Aiden Pierce is just a forgettable character. He's bland, and everything about the game's bland. You know, every mission ends with a cop chase. There's just so much that just is wrong with this game. I mean, it was the first PS4 game that I got rid of. So, but now moving on to best DLC of the year, and the winner is... Let me out, asshole!
Hardline. Just kidding. Left Behind won the best DLC for the games this entire year, mainly because of how well it relates to the story. It provides a lot of background, there's character development. You know, gameplay-wise, it's just like The Last of Us. But it's exactly what DLC should be, a little taste of something more.
Alright. Runner-up in this category goes to Destiny's The Dark Below expansion/DLC. Reason being, it actually made changes that needed to be made. You can now buy resources. You can now... I don't know, it's just better. It runs smoother. The strike is very chaotic. It's very fun. Yeah, the strike. It didn't give you a whole lot in terms of story. You ran through the story very quick, but it was still a great DLC. Next up is the best Wii U game, and that went to...
Super
Smash Brothers wins the best fucking Wii U game of 2014. Why? Because it's fucking insane. Smash will never be any better with 8 player. And just the balance, the 49 character roster, the stages are incredible. There's so much content in this game. I don't even know what to do half the time when I play. Smash!
And Mario Kart gets the runner-up because, Mario Kart is a historic classical franchise for Nintendo. This is the first time that's on the Wii U, so it's the first time you get these new next generation graphics. Everything is current. The tracks are fun, the carts are rideable, you zip around, you do stuff. Right?
Right.
And then the winner for PlayStation 4 game is
Infamous Second Son wins Best PlayStation 4 Game. It is a very fun open world game, similar to, in some ways, with the climbing aspects of Assassin's Creed mixed with some pseudo gunplay with the powers, and it's just a really fun game. It's one of the more fun games I've played this year. Now, we don't technically have a runner-up because we haven't played really any other PS4 exclusives, but plenty of other games such as Far Cry 4 and Destiny have their own exclusive content to the PlayStation, with the exclusive like strikes in Destiny and the being able to invite 10 friends in Far Cry. So those games, we couldn't really consider them runner-ups, but they're worth mentioning. But the next category is Best Competitive Multiplayer, and the winner is shit. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U wins competitive multiplayer. This game is one of the most competitive games I've ever played. It's so much fun to get 4 or even now up to 8 of your friends together and just go and fight each other. This game can be extremely technical. You can just mash buttons, or if you're really good, you can get some of the longest matches I've ever seen in any kind of fighting game. It's definitely a really competitive, really fun fighting game.
Runner-up for competitive multiplayer is Destiny. It's very balanced with the terms of all 3 classes. Supers make things very chaotic. The maps are great. Quite a variety of playstyles on each map. And on to the next category, which is Best Cooperative Multiplayer.
And the winner of the best cooperative multiplayer game is Diablo 3! Reaper of Souls. This game is very fun cooperatively. You need the balance of all 6 classes to win, and you go higher on each torment level and it gets more difficult. I need a monk to heal me, while I need a very powerful barbarian to fuck shit up. I need a demon hunter to rain down rains of vengeance everywhere. You can also trade gear with each other and help each other through the new Nemesis system. Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls is the ultimate cooperative multiplayer game in 2014. Keith.
Yes. Runner-up is Destiny. Main reason for that being, main reason for that being, the game was built to do it with friends. For example, you have to do the strike.
Do it with friends?
Do it with friends. You have to. The main reason is, the strikes. You have to have a group of 3 in order to do the strikes. You have to be online. So you have to work together in order to complete a lot of the objectives. It's easy to get swarmed in some parts of that game, and it's a game that's made to be played in a large group of people. And so that's the main reason why it's a runner-up for cooperative experience. But best RPG goes to
Alright, we are doing Best RPG, and the winner of this category went to Dragon Age Inquisition. Now I know it hasn't been out very long, but it's been out long enough for me to sink probably close to 40 hours into this game already. And it's what the PS4, it's an RPG the PS4 needed. It's not quite Skyrim, but it's close. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah, the runner-up is the Pokemon remix, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Really, the history of Pokemon games have always been, you know, RPGs. That's what they've always been. You can say Pokemon games have always been the same thing. But the thing about these Pokemon games winning an RPG category is just that they're so fun. You get to really role play. They really define you. You're playing the role of your guy. You get to catch whatever Pokemon you want. You know, you get to experience places on your own. You, for some part, get to, you know, travel at your own pace and everything. Go where you want. They're really great role-playing games, and these games just, you know, are remakes of some of the best Pokemon games.
What do we have next?
What do we have next?
That's a bad idea. No, nope.
Action adventure. So,
Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor wins best action adventure game. In terms of roaming around and just questing and, you know, again, basically going on an adventure, I don't know if any games this year does it better than Shadow of Mordor. You know, running around, fighting orcs, you know, dealing with the Nemesis system and watching the orcs hierarchy change and fighting war chiefs and all the other wildlife of Mordor and Middle-earth. It's just a really fun game, and it is a great adventure to go on in terms of an action-adventure game.
Let me tell you who came in second. Infamous Second Son got second place. Why? Because it's a good fucking action game. This game is extremely action-packed. It's got some great combat, you know, with all the variety of powers that you get. You know, there's a lot of almost strategy involved in it. Taking districts is one of the most fun and adrenaline-filled moments, you know, I've had this year in gaming. A lot of the story missions are extremely action-packed. This is a very engaging game with some great combat, punching dudes in the face, hitting them with chains. Fucking, yeah. And the best graphics goes to Destiny. Wins our best graphics of 2014. Destiny graphically is a very jaw-dropping game, at least to us. You know, some of the environments that you walk into when you first land on Earth and you're able to explore is just stellar. When you know, some of the locations on the moon with the hive are just mind-blowing. You know, the art direction is extremely sound on this game. You know, just go to Venus, look at the architecture there, look at the enemies in the Vex or the Cabal. Bungie did a phenomenal job with the look of Destiny. It's very sci-fi, and I feel it has its own unique twist. It's our best graphics of 2014.
The runner-up for best graphics goes to Assassin's Creed Unity. I think this game stands up really well looking at it, especially compared to previous Assassin's Creeds. Due to, well, one, the game does look beautiful. The cutscenes are phenomenal when they run right. Now, it does have some frame rate problems, but when this game runs good, it looks amazing. And the other thing, which is something that seems so small but has such a big impact, is the fact that everything's scaled 1-to-1. And it makes everything look so much more imposing, you know. Climbing the Notre Dame Cathedral seems that much bigger of a task than it would in any other Assassin's Creed. And it just looks really, really nice. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say that. So we'll go on to the next category, which is the best story of 2014, which goes to... And the winner, the best story goes to Smash Bros.
It's not it.
It's not it?
It's gotta be Hardline.
Nope.
Battlefield Hardline.
Destiny.
No!
God. Alright.
Battlefield Hardline too?
Think about it. Think about it.
Okay, I got it.
Sleep it off.
Best story goes to The Walking Dead Season 2.
Yes!
There we go. See, now that story, it's something that Telltale Games did really well with the first Walking Dead, and that's making a story that is really emotional and you really care about the characters in the universe, and that's something that they've always done very, very well. It's also probably one of the most depressing stories I've ever seen ever. It's just, I don't know. That was probably one of the closest times I ever came to crying playing a video game. It's probably true. So
Pussy.
yeah, shut up.
So that's what, like, it's just such a great story. That's why I have it at number 1.
Hardline. Okay.
Way to go, Dingus.
What am I doing now? Next one, the second place for the story, right? Yeah, the story. One second place for the story. I'm a little jarred here. Yeah, I remember when I first saw this game. I came over and everyone else was playing it, and I was kind of confused. Like, what's this game about? It's like fairy tales and some other, like, people are like wolves, and then there's like the lumberjack from Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
You know, these different characters. I'm like, so it's like, and it's kind of cool how they do that. It's like fairy tales, the detective story, and you play as Bigby Wolf, not to be confused with Ned Bigby from some show.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find out what's going on. Like, different people are getting killed, and you're just trying to discover everything that's happening. Your choices actually matter, like, because they're both Telltale games. So your choices actually matter, and you're trying to find out, you know, what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
It's a powerful message. So next up,
Best hero.
best hero.
All right, hero of the year goes to Delsin Rowe from Infamous Second Son. Delsin's a great character, not more so in the sense that you can basically choose to be evil or good, but the good story is, it's so fulfilling. It's a story of a young man who goes through so much. He tries to save his people, and so he does the only thing that he can do, and he goes off and he tries to fight Augustine, and it's just his adventures of finding the good in other conduits, and I mean, he's just an all-around good guy. Even when he has the right to be angry and the right to do bad things, he can make the choice to rise above it and just be a good person. So that's why I have Delsin Rowe. That's why we have Delsin Rowe as our best hero. Shit.
Alright. Runner-up for Best Hero goes to Talion from Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. He seems very bland at first, but once you kind of start getting into the lore and seeing his interaction with Celebrimbor, he does become a much more filled-out character. He's not just a stereotypical ranger, you know, that sort of character. He's not the grizzled wild woodsman. So, after our hero, we go to, of course, the villains.
Alright, best villain goes to Augustine, again from Infamous Second Son. What makes Augustine really evil is the fact that it's more of an institutional evil. She feels that the DUP and her is a very evil organization that want to capture all the conduits, which is weird because she goes through and tries to explain herself by, you know, saying that she's trying to protect them and all kinds of other stuff. But she hurts anybody that gets in her path, and she's ruthless, and definitely a very tough boss at the end of the game. But she's just an all-around bad, evil person. And so that's why she's number 1 on our villains list. Yay.
Alright. Runner-up for villains goes to the Crooked Man from The Wolf Among Us. And again, he's a very institutionalized sort of character, or sort of villain. He doesn't see what he's doing as wrong. Doesn't even really necessarily see it as evil. To him, it's all just business. And that sort of just cold detachment makes him quite good in his role as the main villain of at least Season 1 of The Wolf Among Us. So, that's it for our villains. Next category goes to indie game, sorry. Indie game. Next category is indie game of the year.
Shovel Knight. It's the best indie game because you play it as a knight with a shovel, and seems like a weird concept, right? But it's fun, You know, it's old school, like, you know.
NES.
Yeah. Yeah, you play, you know, old school, jumping around, you know, like you feel like you're from the 80s. It's fun to go back to the games. That's what you love about indie games is they're not always doing what's super in and popular right now. Sometimes they're doing the old stuff. Sometimes they're doing stuff that's completely new. Fun game, shovels, knights, the whole 10 feet.
Velocity 2X wins their runner-up. This game is absolutely just blew my mind with how fun it is. And there's 50 levels of just pure intensity. I felt like this game really built you up to, you know, challenge after challenge so perfectly. And it really blends great on-foot, side-scrolling mechanics with almost Galaga type. You know, you're not standing down the road shooting shit, but you're still a shit going up, and you're fucking warping around, you know, destroying shit. Each level felt like just a huge puzzle that you had to solve. Each level, as you got farther into the game, required a lot of skill. This game was just incredibly fun, and I just had a fucking blast playing this game. And, you know, hey, got it for free from PlayStation Plus. How cool is that? So, the winner of the best handheld game is...
Galaga.
Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is our winner for best handheld. I mean, in terms of a handheld game, I don't know what game this year I put more hours into. It's a remake of probably one of the best generations of Pokemon ever, and it's just all around, it's just a well-made game. It takes advantage of the power of the 3DS. There's a lot to do post-game. It's just a really good time. I mean, like I said, you can sink hours and hours and hours. I hope to put another 150 plus hours into this game. So it's just hours of endless fun, and that's why it's our winner.
Yeah, next I had Fantasy Life because that's really just one of my favorite games. It's come out in a while. It's kind of like a system of leveling, and you choose different lives or a variety of different lives, and you can stuff you can do with each life, and different achievements that you can, not really achievements, but quest system of quests that you can do for each life. There's a main story that you just help people whenever, wherever, and yeah. Next category is shooter.
All right, winner for best shooter goes to Destiny. Reason being, the controls just feel naturally flawless. It runs smoothly. The action gets very frantic when you incorporate the use of each class of supers. But it feels very great. It feels like it was made for a console, and especially for the PlayStation 4 controller. So, runner-up?
Runner-up is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Mainly because it messes with the standard Call of Duty setup that's normally been with the exosuit. You can basically boost in all kinds of different directions, which really messes with the movement and adds a certain verticality to Call of Duty. And Call of Duty's always been a solid shooter, it's just that it gets stale after a while, and this makes it fresh, which I thought was really good. But best developer goes to
Nintendo. Yeah, they're the best game developer because look at all the games they put out this year. You know, the main ones being the Pokemon remakes. They put out Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Bros. And Fantasy Life. So they put out some good stuff on the Nintendo 3DS. They put out some good stuff on the Wii U. And that's, the main games are really good, but they have a lot of other really just play around fun games, and they are a very consistent game producer. They produce consistent games, very fun games.
Number 2 is Telltale, because look at what Telltale did this year. They only put out 2 games, but between The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead Season 2, they're both absolutely phenomenal games. I mean, they won our best stories of 2014. So, I mean, when it comes to story and just content developing, Telltale they pull it off really well. And they even this year put out the first episodes for Tales from the Borderlands, and Game of Thrones, which are both phenomenal as well. So Telltale wins that, and so our winner for Best Surprise goes to Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, wins their Surprise of the Year. Why? Because it's surprising that this game was actually good, to be honest with you. The whole exosuit really adds a lot. It actually really, as a person who's played every Call of Duty since Call of Duty Finest Hour on the PS2, really does change the way that Call of Duty is played. The multiplayer is really well made. There's a ton of customization to it, and even small things such as supply drops really add a lot to it. The maps are really well designed, and Uplink is one of my favorite Call of Duty modes that they've added to the franchise in a long time. The campaign was solid. Graphically, it's solid. I went into this game with zero expectations and came away kind of impressed. It's a very fun game, and it's the best Call of Duty there's been in a long time. So,
yeah. What game was I?
Shadow Mordor.
Shadow Mordor. That's right. Biggest surprise, runner-up for biggest surprise was Shadow Mordor. Again, kind of like Tyler went into Call of Duty with, this was something new in the Lord of the Rings universe. This has nothing to do with the books, really. It has connections back to the Lord of the Rings story, but it's taking place in a new time frame, in a slightly new area, in the fact that Mordor is not the desolate wasteland that everyone has seen in the movies. But just the things that it brought to the game with the Nemesis system and the free running of Assassin's Creed mixed with the combat of what feels like the Batman Arkham games. It was just a very big shock at how good that game actually was. And we go into best remaster. Yes, that's right. Best remaster.
Pokemon, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. Because they're the best remakes or remasters, because they're just really good. They're fun, and you can play them. And it's like they're really good too. But like they added a lot of new stuff.
that didn't explain why it won.
They won because they're like graphically they're really cool to translate. Graphically they're really excellent games. They added a lot of new features. They're quite fun to play with your friends. You have secret bases that make a return. They brought a lot of what you fancied in the older games and made them relate to this new generation, which translates to it was fun.
Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, I think I got that right, is number 2 for us. This is, it sucks that it's kind of only on PlayStation 3 for now, which, it's cool. But this includes Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Now with Kingdom Hearts Recoded, it's kind of like the cutscenes like they did with 358 over 2 days in the last collection. This time they put a lot more effort into it. There's actually action sequences in here. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which I'm playing for the first time, is absolutely fantastic. So both all these games are just up-res. They look so much better. They tweaked some things. They redid the music and all the sounds, and they made it suit for PlayStation 3, and they added trophies. That's why it wins. Best soundtrack goes to...
Alright, winner for best soundtrack goes to Destiny. Once again, Destiny has been cleaning up. But the music for Destiny is it just fits. It's perfect. It gives the sense of scope and exploration that kind of really wasn't there in Destiny, but the music makes you feel like it, makes you feel awesome, and it's really just an amazingly composed soundtrack.
Runner-up is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. And I think the brilliance of this soundtrack is, one, it takes bits from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but also it's one of those soundtracks that you really have to listen to in order to notice. It's so in the background but it just really does amplify the experience. But you really wouldn't notice the first time. But it's just it's a great soundtrack. It's not like Destiny where it's out there, and yes, the soundtrack is the main point, but it does a great job accenting the things you do in the game. And so now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The game of the year is...
It's game of the year.
It is.
What you've been wanting. Number 3, game of the year that we chose. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Why did we choose that, Keith?
It's just probably it's a very well put together game. You know, it's one of the things that I think Nintendo is doing really, really well this generation, and that's they put out solid games they don't have to fix afterwards. And Smash Bros. Is a solid game. It's just pure fun, and that's the appeal of it. It's just fun in its purest form. It's not the most deep game. It's not the longest campaign ever. It's just fun.
You know you made a really solid game when you don't even have to put up one update out for it. There hasn't been a single update for this game. It's that well made. Plays that smooth. And there's so much content in this game. You know, you can play there's so many variety of modes. You can go through classic mode, you can smash people. You can go online. Online is extremely fun.
The reason this one is 8-person Smash, though.
Yeah, 8-person Smash Smash Brothers will never be the same anymore. Like, we can't play 4-person Smash anymore. It's 8 people. It's awesome.
It's not counting.
Yeah, and just, I mean, this game's pretty to look at. The stages are well designed. There's almost 50 characters to play as. That's fucking insane.
And that's before the DLC that they're putting out for it.
Yeah, and like Keith said, this game is fun in its purest form. I got my girlfriend to play this game, and she hates video games, and she had fun. That
is amazing.
That speaks volumes.
Whew! Wow, I didn't even know that took place.
Yeah, I didn't know that took
Good
place
job.
either. Nice work, Calls.
Number 2 game of the year, Shadow of Mordor.
Woo!
Middle-earth Shadow.
Yeah.
We have to say about it.
The Nemesis system. The games will never be the same if they incorporate something like the Nemesis system. And I've actually spent most of my time running around hunting captains to either take their head or dominate them. I mean, the combat is very smooth. It's satisfyingly brutal. And it flows so well from combat into movement, into stealth. You know, it just works. And it's not really innovative with the exception of the Nemesis system, but it takes things that worked for other games and just kind of threw them all together into one big pot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've gotten distracted playing an open world game as much as I have Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like you view the Nemesis system and you'll just see, you'll just be sitting there and you'll be like, alright, I'm gonna go maybe get back to the story. And then you see one of the captains has a red arrow over top of him, which means he's a rival because he killed you, and you're just like, you know what, you have to die.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, and then you'll run into some other thing happening along the way, and it's just, it's great. It's great without going into like full-on RPG, which sometimes, even though I do love RPGs, I think sometimes that's just not what you're looking for at sometimes, and it just does really, really well, like giving you so much to do in one game.
Yeah. The combat is extremely fun in this game. It's very Batman, Arkham, that franchise, but it's got its own flavor to it, and it's so badass getting into a crowd of like 25 orcs and you kill them all. Yes. Or you're fighting like 3 captains at once and you fucking cut all their heads off. And you know, I never felt revenge in a game before. And you know, you get killed by this guy, you're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and you hunt him down. And you know, I like how this game, most of the missions or anything, you know, the game's like, you can figure it out. We're not going to tell you how to do it. We're not going to hold your hand.
Yeah.
You figure it out. You do it. This game was fun. It had a pretty good story. Mm-hmm. Kind of fucked with some lore, but
that's okay.
It was engaging.
Yeah. I will. That one captain who I've exchanged killing blows with multiple times, but I've not taken his head, is now a war chief. Mm. And I will take his damn head.
Yeah. And our game of the year is not Destiny.
Not Destiny.
I know Destiny won a lot of our categories because, you know, it's good in some categories. I just want to say that. Destiny is not in our running game of the year. Our game of the year is fucking Dragon Age Inquisition.
Why?
Why?
Because there's so much to do.
There's too much.
There's almost too much to do. I've put probably close to 40 hours into this game, and I just now got to Skyhole.
Yeah.
What Keith said about getting distracted by things to do in Shadow of Mordor doesn't even come close to the amount of shit you can do in Dragon Age Inquisition.
To me, this game has... To me, this is the greatest RPG that I think has came out since Skyrim. And, you know, the story is there to be. I find the story engaging. And to be honest with you, I didn't play Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2, but I feel you can really pick this up and get into it. I love this story. Building your character, building your Inquisition. It feels super satisfying.
Your choices actually seem like they matter.
Yeah, they
Actually,
do.
your choices do matter.
Yeah, they really do. Combat is so fun. There's a lot of customization and just different ways you can go about everything.
Yeah.
And one of the most satisfying things that I've done all this year in gaming is to you walk into an area and you're like, there's a lot of guys in here. And so you go to the tactical camera, you set up your plan and attack, and then you slaughter.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes.
The combat
it's so
is
satisfying.
so challenging because they took away pretty much every ability that heals your characters. There's no healing skills anymore. You're limited in the amount of potions and stuff you can carry. So you really do have to go into any combat scenario saying, I could potentially die here. How can I set myself up to not let that happen?
Mm-hmm. And I sit there and, you know, during some of the cutscenes, I'm just like, man, like, I just can't believe this game is this good. It really has captured me this year better than any other game, in my opinion. I love it. I just can't get enough of it, in my opinion. Keith owns the game. Keith has not played it.
I haven't played it yet. There's been too much on my plate of games I need to finish.
And that was pretty much just like the single-player campaign. There is a whole cooperative side.
Yeah, which is pretty fun. It could use more work, but it is fun.
They could use more maps. It could use more event variety.
Yeah.
But that same thing happened with Mass Effect. But we got a whole bunch of Mass Effect DLC, like multiplayer free DLC, which was really nice. And honestly, I'm surprised that BioWare really wasn't in one of our developers of the year. But BioWare always does good shit.
So that's our gaming year in Dragon Age Inquisition. There's a lot of good video games in 2014.
This was probably the hardest category to really narrow down.
Oh yeah, because it was about 4 or 5 games total that were on the document. They were all worthy games, so it just made it difficult.
Yeah, I agree. So let us know what your favorite games of 2014 are, and 2015 is looking to be even harder to sit down and do this.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
10 perhaps out of 10.
Thanks for watching.
See you next.